Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, let's talk about my latest gear upgrade. Got a new Klim riding suit. Let's talk about it. What's up, my biker friends? Welcome back to another video. As I'm following Jochen here, we're in Slovenia today on our first day of riding the Balkans off-road. That is the plan. And we're still on-road, obviously. We're still making our way down south. And we just came off the Mangad road, which is beautiful, beautiful scenic road. I want to briefly talk about my latest upgrade in gear. Now, I talked about my Klim riding suit a few times on a few occasions. And I told you guys that I really love it because of its waterproofness. And it's basically a proper four-season riding suit because it's waterproof, it's got the vents and all that. So if you haven't seen the video, I can link it up here on the description. Now, this riding suit is already about 110,000 kilometers old. I've had it now for 6-7 years, I think. The design itself is probably 10 years old. Now, I crashed it twice on the road. I crashed it multiple times in off-road conditions, so it's seen a lot of tear and wear. The Velcros weren't closing properly anymore. The waterproof zippers from, washing it and drying it too many times. Stuff does wear out, and it did. And so I was already thinking about potentially upgrading to another Klim riding suit. And then my brother and I took a trip to Norway, where we borrowed a bike from ATM rental in Hamburg. And Stephan, who's the owner, it's a small business, he's the owner. He also wanted to make sure that when he rents out the bikes, that he can give his clients a riding suit or full riding gear. If they're coming from far away, there's a lot of international clients that he has. About 70% of his clients are coming from outside of Germany to travel Norway. So, oh, look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Yes. Hello, Slovenia. Awesome. This is great. So he wanted to make sure that he can offer the best riding gear for them to borrow along with the bikes. So he became a Klim dealer for Germany. So he can not only get the stuff for himself cheaper, but can also then sell Klim gear to other riders. And it's still difficult to find Klim in Germany. So before we left, I did try on the Badlands jacket. I knew the L size would fit me, the large jacket would fit. Jacket's always easy. But then the pants, he had pants in my size, so I tried those on too, and they fit really well. They had a much better fit than my really baggy Lattidude pants. Also, the Badlands, from the Lattidude at the time when I bought it, the Badlands was already there, and the Lattidude was like one step down. So equivalent to what the Carlsbad is now today. The Carlsbad is one step down. Not so much in water protection. It's still got Goretex and the whole 9 yards, but it's less beefy. I know, of course, it costs a lot less, so it has a little less features in there. But also, it's a lot lighter. So if you don't like the bulk of a Badlands suit, then the Carlsbad now may be the better option. So basically, I just tried it on just for fun, to see maybe one of these days. Anyway, we were riding in Norway, and I had one of the worst riding days in the rain. So I was glad that my brother had, a great motorcycle and also great Klim gear to make sort of this first motorcycle touring a positive experience. But then we were riding in the rain for the whole time, and I was, there's some water that comes in. At any gear you will have some water penetration eventually. But, I was getting wet. I was getting wet a little bit. I could tell I was creeping up my arms again to the shoulders, and then at some point it would get down to my base and mid layer, and so to my underwear, and of course the boots were leaking again. My Tech 7 boots, the one with the dry sun membrane, they were full of water, so I was wet head to toe. So once we arrived at the hotel, I asked my brother if there's any water that came from. There's nothing. It was even bone dry. Nothing. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, the jacket, the inner liner, everything was dry. The helmet, the boots. He had CD boots that he also got from Stephan. Absolutely incredible. So I got really jealous all of a sudden. I'm the guy that rides a lot, not my brother. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't have adequate riding gear. And I like riding in the rain. Well, at least I don't mind it. But now I saw that there's so much better gear out there. And, my gear has just gotten old. And I didn't really understand because the Goretex still holds up. So I didn't really understand why I would get wet. And the main difference between my old jacket and the new Badlands is that the liner would actually soak up the water. So from the inside, so along the seams of your sleeves, And the bottom part of the jacket, there's obviously water that accumulates, and when it accumulates, it just kind of rises up the inner part of the liner. So when I looked at my jacket, all of the inside, the sleeves and the entire jacket, it was wet. So obviously it was then getting the base layer wet, and when that happens, you know, it would actually then go all the way down to my underwear. And that didn't happen with the Badlands. Now, I don't know why that is. It just didn't happen. We were riding in the exact same conditions with very similar bikes. So there is a difference. There's a 10-year difference of development. Obviously, it's newer materials. Whatever it is, that was the moment when I said, I need one of these. I want the Badlands dude. Since I organized all this trip for my brother, he didn't have to pay for the bike or the clothes. And he had the best surprise you can have. My birthday's coming up, and so he knew I was going to pull the trigger on buying the Badlands dude. So what he did, he actually ordered one from Stephan for this trip, because he knew I was going to go on the trip 2 weeks later to the Balkans, and said, you know, brother, it was such a great trip. This is an early birthday present for the entire family. I was really happy because I thought about it myself, and of course it's not a small expense that you have to make, but it's definitely worth it. And now getting it for my brother is even better. So it's awesome. There's a lot of features in here, you know, tons of videos out there that talk about all the features, but some of the main things I like is I like the beefier. It's heavier, but I like it that it's beefier, because I know I do crash with the jacket, and I think some of my road crashes wouldn't have done much to this jacket. I think especially along the elbows, it's got that armor core on there, so it's beefier. Also, it's the upgraded sort of armor in there, which is also awesome. Like that too. The vents are an upgrade for sure. So these things are, you know, are quite also the pockets. I was a bit worried about the pockets, because I kind of like the cargo pockets of my jacket. Also, the pants have regular pockets, side pockets. Here, the vent opening and the pocket zipper are very close to each other. The different zippers, so you can't really miss them on this jacket. So the pockets actually work quite well. So I think it's just a matter of getting used to. It's also the latest iteration of the Badlands. I mean, the jacket always looked nice, I thought, but the latest iteration that came, I think it was last year, and 21, maybe 22 this year. It looks so much nicer. They've done a design upgrade, and it just looks absolutely badass. I mean, you should just buy it by looks, but I think it looks absolutely badass in black. I like black. There's other cool colors. The one that my brother was wearing is also a great color. The sort of dark petrol color with the orange highlights. I like that too. Another feature that I like on the Badlands pants is that the knee protectors. I had to actually wear separate knee protectors and put my pants over them, because they were so loose that the integrated knee protectors, that didn't really work. And, you know, just an extra layer of things that I had to do. So here, the integrated ones actually fit quite well. I'm quite happy about that. It's just one less thing to deal with. Anyway, guys, just want to let you know, if you are living in Germany and you're considering buying one of these, if you're from the northern hemisphere, I can really recommend contacting Stephan. I'm going to leave all the links in the description if you're interested in one, because you really have to try the stuff on. I mean, you can order it, try it on, send it back. It's a bit of a hassle. If you want a place where you can try this on, he has most common sizes. Ring him up, ask him if you can just try it on, because I think that's one of the major benefits if you're interested in that. And hopefully it's useful. If you got any comments, or if you got questions, you put them in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, ride safe, stay awesome.